Hi all, welcome to my channel TechFest. So today we are learning the fourth design principle in a solid principle, that is interface segregation principle. So in this video we will discuss about what is this interface segregation principle, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of this principle, and then after we will discuss about few interview questions which are generally asked about this interface segregation principle, and then we will do some coding examples, and we will check that how we can implement this particular principle in our application, and in what scenarios we can use this principle, and what are the problems we can resolve by using these principles. So let's just start. So the interface segregation principle, as we know that the fourth principle in a solid principle, the in a solid is acronym as interface segregation principle, and the interface segregation principle basically suggests that no class should be forced to implement those methods of interface which is not using by that particular class. So this can be understand by one of the examples. Suppose we have one interface, and there would be a one in that there are three methods, the name as A, B and C, and we are going to create two classes. One is X and one is Y, and X is implementing that interface and give a body to all the methods, or overriding all the methods, and while class Y required only two methods, but due to the interface contract, whatever the abstract method having in an interface have to override those. So it will be forcibly for a class Y to implement all three methods while it is using only two methods. So this can be better understand when we do the implementations, and see how the problem is resolved by the interface segregation principle, and what would be the actual problem. So there are few advantages and disadvantages of this design principle. So basically by using these principles, unnecessary method implementation will be removed. So as we have earlier seen the example that the class Y need to be implement the third method also, which is not required by them. So that kind of forcibly things we can resolve by implementing interface segregation principle, and by using this we can increase the code readability and maintainability part. So yeah, we can understand all these terms with examples, and then there would be some disadvantages also. If you are not using that particular design principle, so unnecessarily the unused code coupling will be increased. So as we have seen that class Y have to implement the third method, which is not exactly using by that class Y. So why would class Y will implement that particular method? So we can understand with the examples. Then there are the few interview questions which generally asked in interviews. What would be the interface segregation principle? So we have seen that. How can we implement this principle? We will see in a coding part when we implement this. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of this principle? We have already seen that it will make our code more maintainable and readable, and also provide a flexibility. There are some scenario based questions, as see that there would be a one interface IA having an three methods A, B and C, and we have written the implementation classes X and Y of this interface, and X class need only a method A and B, and while Y class required all three. Uh, so what would be the best design pattern to use to resolve that problem? Because if we have a class X and which is going to be implement the interface, this particular class X have to give body to all the methods. Either it will be annotating or denoting as abstract class, or making as a abstract method. So it is not an abstract class. So how we can resolve this problem? So that also we can see when we do the coding examples. Thanks. Hi all. So let's just start with the interface segregation principle coding examples, and how can we implement this. So before implementing this, we just need to be check that what would be the problem which we are resolving by implementing this interface segregation principle. So we have created one core Java project, and then we have created one package and few classes. So to understand interface segregation principle, I have taken an example of a user. Suppose we have an application, and there are different type of users which are accessing that applications, like a admin user, or a simple user, or a super user, or a user which have an access of managerial kind of role, or a user which have an access of human resource, that means HR kind of role. So for that I have created two classes, two model classes. That is, first one is user, which contains the fields user ID, username, and the role list, and another model class, that is role, which contains the field of role ID, role name, and list of role accesses, like a read access, write access, or modify access, or delete access, whatever the access, same. Then I have created one interface which contains some of the operations, or I say methods, user operation service. So basically there are 6 different methods I have defined over here. First 3 methods are related with the user. First one is the creating of user, updating of user, and deletion of user, and other 3 are creation of role, updation of role, and with the access, and deletion of role. So firstly I will create the implementation class for that, and then after we will understand. So I'm creating user operation service IMPL class, which is going to implement the interface user operation service IMPL, and implementing all the methods. So here we can see we have all 6 methods. These 3 belongs to the role creation, role updation, and role deletion, and these 3 belongs to the user creation, user updation, and user deletions. So to understand the interface segregation principle correctly, firstly we need to be always remember that we don't need to be violate the single responsibility principle. So here if we can see that the single responsibility principle is violating, because what this class significance, all the user related operations should be here. So this particular method belongs to a user related operation, that is creation of user. This particular method also belongs to a user related operation, updating a user details. This particular method belongs to a deletion of user, that is deleting any user. But these 3 methods are not belongs to user creation or user deletion or user. These 3 methods belongs to role creation, Role is indirectly linked with the users also, but these three methods should not over here, because these three methods are not related with the users. We can separately create a role detail, right? We can separately modify the role accesses or delete any role which is not belongs to the systems. So these three methods should not over here, but because these three methods defined in this interface, the implementing class of that interface should gives the body to this interface. So what exactly the interface segregation principle suggests? That interface segregation principle suggests that any class should not be forcibly defined, or you give the body to the method which is not being used by them. So here the class is doing the operations on users, not on roles, but due to this interface problem we have to give the body over here. So that is the exact problem. So basically interface segregation principle and the single responsibility principle both are slightly linked with each other, because whenever we are saying that interface segregation principle need to be implemented, that means somehow the single responsibility principle was violating at some point. To fix that we are using that method also. So let's just start and implement the single interface segregation principle to resolve this problem. So to resolve this problem, firstly we need to be remove these methods from this place, so that so what we will do, we need to be create one more interface, that is role operation service, and here we have to remove these methods from here and give a these methods to here. Now this particular methods we don't need to be override over here. Now suppose there is one another class, that is my system operations. So if we talk about whatever the system operations are there, we need to be define all these operations in this class. So in such case what we will do, because we have segregated this role related operations over here and user related operations in a user service. So what we will do, we can implement user operation service, as well as we can implement role operation service. And give a body to all. So that particular class needs both the operations, user related also and role related also. So we have implemented this and get it all this. So in that way we can segregate all those methods which are not bound to be implemented by any class which is not using that. So user operation service IMPL class is not going to be used any operations which are related to be the user creation, role deletion or role updation. So we have segregated those operations into a separate interface, and whatever the class needs both the operations, it can be implementing both the interfaces to get all the operations. So in that way we can segregate the methods and segregating the interfaces by different methods So that's it for this interface segregation principles. It is a very important principle, and somehow it will be asked by the interviewer that how can we linked with the single responsibility principle and service interface segregation principle. So in that way, I have given an example that how the single responsibility principle is violating, and how can we fix that by interface segregation principle. That so that's it in this video. uh, if you like this video, please subscribe my channel.